just an innocent bystander, and that's so sad.
3 people are behind bars now in connection with the deadly shooting of Olympian Tyson Gay's teenage daughter. We're tracking the investigation.
Expected it. It's a big surprise.
And friends tell us what happened in the moments leading up to Trinity Gay's death. The shooting has left friends, family, even strangers in shock.
Why did this happen, and why did it happen to this person?
How the public can come together to remember Trinity, coming up.
This is WKYT News at 11.
She was a rising track star following in the steps of her father, but tonight the daughter of Olympian Tyson Gay is being remembered here in Lexington and around the world. You're watching WKYT. I'm Sean Moody. Lexington police are still piecing together what happened moments before 15-year-old Trinity Gay was shot and killed. It happened in the parking lot of Cookout. It's a restaurant along South Broadway here in Lexington. Police say 2 vehicles were firing shots at each other, and so far police have arrested 3 people in the shooting. 21-year-old Devonta Middlebrooks, 38-year-old Shazare Taylor, and 19-year-old DeMarcio Taylor. They've all been charged with wanton endangerment in the case. Shazare Taylor and DeMarcio Taylor, a father and son, police tell us. Police say 3 of them were firing shots in the parking lot of that Cookout, and Trinity was hit in the crossfire. WKYT's Caitlin Center has been tracking this investigation all day long in our top story. She's now live at the Lexington Police Department headquarters. Caitlin, this is just the beginning of this investigation.
A very sad story we're having to report tonight, Sean. The latest, of course, the Lexington Police Department has made 2 additional arrests in the shooting. Police have been investigating all day today, and people nearby Cookout tell me they're staying inside.
Everybody seems to have a gun. And it's a funny thing that when they get a gun in their hand, it doesn't take very much to make them shoot it.
Early Sunday morning, Lexington police rushed to shots fired. Wanda Parker typically keeps up with what's happening around the neighborhood, but didn't hear a thing.
I've already put my clothes on that I'm not going anywhere, you know.
Parker says it's things like this that keep her inside.
It's just really gotten bad. I just don't feel comfortable here anymore.
And the people next door, they keep their doors locked.
Living in the city is different than living in a small town. I was checking, my phone this morning, and I'm like, whoa, there was a shooting down the street.
A shooting, police say, took the life of a young girl. 15-year-old Trinity Gay, they say, was at Cookout when 2 cars exchanged shots, but it's not clear how she was caught in the crossfire.
It's always the bystanders that get hurt. Usually the people that are involved in it, they don't get hurt. It's just an innocent bystander, and that's so sad.
Jeannie Noss also lives nearby the late-night food joint and says she stopped in a time or 2.
Oh, yeah, we've gone up there several times. It's usually full of college kids. And there's usually, the times we've been in there, security's everywhere. There's usually more security people in that place than I've ever seen in a restaurant.
Sunday night, although Parker doesn't know the 15-year-old, she says it's hitting home. She has children, grandchildren.
I'm old. I'm not going to be here much longer. But I really feel for these kids today. They have a hard time.
To recap, Lexington Police Department has made 3 arrests in this case, 2 of those not long ago. Now, we've stayed in contact with the department throughout the day, and as any new information comes in, we'll be reporting that. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. Now, Trinity's death has been a tough one for people all across the community, but especially for her friends. A 15-year-old was a student at Lafayette High School, where she was on the track team. She was a sprinter, just like her dad. Her fellow teammates are now planning a vigil to remember her tomorrow night. WKYT's Sabira Rayford talked to our friends, and she continues our top story team coverage.
It was a night for reminiscing. It hasn't even been 24 hours since 15-year-old Trinity Gay was killed, and she has a room full of people trying to make sure we never forget who she was.
Everybody just remember her as someone that was helpful, funny, just a good person to hang around. She can make friends with anyone.
They're preparing a candlelight vigil in Gay's memory.
I just hope everybody just gets together, have a good time, and just remember Trinity as how she was.
At times, there were laughs thinking about Gay's infectious smile and her outgoing personality. But when the realization hit that she won't be at school tomorrow, things got rough.
That was it. I just felt so bad because, like, I just keep replaying when she was in my face saying, "You gotta help me, you gotta help me." Nothing we could do. We were scared.
Taylor Middleton says she was right next to Gay when she was shot. She says they were in a parking lot when the first round of shots were fired.
That's when we heard more gunshots. And that's when I was like, okay, I see her, so let me go and try to get by her so I don't be alone. So that's when I tried to, like, crawl towards her. And as I'm crawling towards her, she's crawling towards me. And she's like, I'm shot, I'm shot.
Middleton says when the shots stopped, she and some friends put Gay in the car and started driving to the hospital.
Trinity, like, leans up against the door. And as she's leaning up against the door, she, like, starts to, like, fall asleep. That's when Alexa was like, you gotta get her up, you gotta get her up. So I grabbed her and I started shaking her and I was holding her and I was like, come on, Trinity, you gotta stay up, you gotta stay up.
She says when they got to the hospital, Gay was not in good shape. She says they couldn't tell she had been shot in the neck.
He grabs Trinity and as he's holding her, like, her body just, like, let go.
Middleton says it's a hard memory to live with.
It's just I really didn't want it to go down that way. Like, it really didn't. It should have been her.
Gay's friends say they will continue to spread her memory to others. They say at a time like this, it's important to be together. In Lexington, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Now, the vigil will follow tomorrow night's freshman football game at Lafayette High School. It should be right around 8 o'clock. Everyone is invited and encouraged to wear pink or purple. Fayette County school leaders say that they've activated their crisis time. There will be grief counselors at Lafayette High School tomorrow to help students and staff dealing with the loss of Trinity Gay. Rosemont Baptist Church will also open their doors to anyone who wants to pray or mourn Gay's death. The minister there said the sanctuary will be open starting at 3:15 tomorrow afternoon. The story's been developing all day long, and we will continue to track this story as it continues. We have been updating our website with statements and condolences from city and state leaders and athletes all across the world. We're also tracking a breaking news alert in Jessamine County this evening. Nicholasville police are on the scene of a deadly crash in the city. They say one man is dead after his car hit a semi-truck at the intersection of US 27 and Elizabeth Street. Police tell us that semi was turning into a nearby gas station when that car, which was heading south, ran into it. The driver of that car died at the scene. His name has not yet been released. The hazmat crews had to come in to help clean up fluids that are on the road from that crash. The southbound lanes of US 27 in that area are still shut down right now, while police try to figure out why that car ran into the truck.
Well, it is indeed October 16th, but it has not felt like it whatsoever all day long. Normal for this time of year? Well, that's right around what we're feeling right now in Lexington, 67, 68. That's a normal daytime high, let alone after 11 o'clock in the evening. So we continue on with warmer than normal temperatures, with most spots showing a bit of a bump up from where we were even at this time yesterday. So we will continue to see that increase into the afternoons for at least the next few days here. Sunny skies expected into tomorrow, but clear skies right now. We just haven't seen the thick cloud cover. It's really not going to work its way back into the region, at least until the middle of the work week. So this warming trend continues on, but don't call it a comeback. Well, call it a comeback because fall is certainly coming back by the middle of this work week and in a big way. Coming up, I'll show you how a powerful cold front will take us back to reality.
Mike, thank you. Now, it was a busy night for Lexington police. They're also investigating another deadly shooting that happened late last night. Police say around 2 o'clock this morning they were called to the Chase parking garage on East Main Street for a shooting. Not long after that, they say a man was dropped off with a gunshot wound to the stomach at a nearby hospital. Crews rushed him to UK Hospital where he later died. The Fayette County coroner has identified him as 27-year-old James Blair. Police also say they've identified a person of interest in that case, but that person's name has not been released. Lexington police say the parking garage shooting death is not connected to a shooting that happened at a nearby nightclub just before that parking garage shooting. Police say they were called to Trust Lounge on West Main Street for a shots fired call. Police said they found blood at the scene but no victim. They say a victim later showed up at Good Samaritan Hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg. Right now, police don't have any suspects in that case. We're still waiting on autopsy results from a deadly shooting last week in southern Kentucky. The Whitley County coroner tells us Stephen Pataki died Saturday night around midnight after being shot several times Thursday. The Corbin Times-Tribune reports that Pataki's wife told police that she shot him, but that she did not mean to shoot him. The paper reports the charges are pending in the case. Police are waiting on results from the autopsy before going forward. Lexington police are also searching for a person wanted for robbing a few gas stations overnight. They say that person was wearing a clown mask and black clothing and robbed 3 gas stations. Police say the Speedway on South Broadway was robbed around 5:15 this morning, while investigators were at the scene of that deadly shooting at Cookout, which is just right across the street. Police tell us the robbers showed a gun and demanded money. A little later, the Thornton's gas station on Georgetown Road and the Speedway on Meadow Lane were also robbed. Police say the suspect in each of these cases was wearing a clown mask. They also believe a silver or gray Chevy Impala may have also been involved in the crimes. 2 men are in the hospital tonight after a crash early today on Interstate 75 in Scott County. Georgetown police say a Dodge Journey rear-ended a Dodge Neon in the southbound lanes at mile marker 122. It's not far from the Fayette-Scott County line. Police say 2 men in that Neon were taken to the hospital. They tell us one of those men has life-threatening injuries. The other man had serious injuries. The driver of the Journey, we're told, was treated at the scene. Traffic was backed up for hours, and then there was another crash just a few miles ahead.
We've done our best to keep the emergency lane open to keep traffic flowing as smoothly as possible, but we did have another injury collision up close to the 126 involving a semi and 2 vehicles. My understanding is no serious injuries out of that.
This is the second serious crash on I-75 in a little over a week. Last weekend, roughly 4 miles from the spot of today's crash, a man was killed after his car went off the road and hit a barrier. State police have identified 3 people killed in the crash in Perry County on Kentucky 7 in Cornetsville. It happened yesterday afternoon around 5 o'clock at the intersection of Kentucky 699. Troopers say a Ford Mustang heading north hit a Chevy Silverado heading south. The coroner said the driver of the Mustang, 44-year-old Christopher Hill, and the driver of the Silverado, 44-year-old Christopher Sams, both died at the scene. A passenger in Sam's truck, 61-year-old Harold Holcomb, was taken to a hospital where he later died. Troopers say they don't yet know what caused the crash. Still to come here on WKYT News at 11, a North Carolina GOP headquarters is threatened and vandalized, but they're not letting this firebomb stop them from campaigning. And mark your calendars, the best place to see next year's total eclipse is right here in Kentucky, where you should plan to go coming up in 10 minutes.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
All right, it has been a warmer than normal, sunny, awesome weekend here in the Commonwealth. And it looks like we'll get more of the same, at least into the next few days here. Right now, we look across the state, and most spots sitting in the mid-60s. Right now, as you can see on the map at the Bluegrass Airport, it's 67 degrees, but here at the station, 64 degrees. So things are beginning to drop off considerably. Quite a few southeastern spots as well, like Harlan County, Bell County, dropping back into the upper 50s at this time. Now, a normal daytime high for this time of year, we're talking 4 o'clock in the afternoon, would be right around 68, 69 degrees. And as you just saw, we're not far off from that point, even going on 11:15 this evening. So our warmer than normal trend continues even into the evening hours, and even without much cloud cover, as you can see here on the Defender radar network. All that cloud covers to our north and for sure to our northwest, which is where the next big difference maker lies. A cold front set to work its way into the Commonwealth by Wednesday, Thursday will finally knock us back down to reality and take the warm temperatures along with it. But until that point, this is what your Monday looks like. A great day to spend some time outside. Again, a normal high for this time of year, 68 or so. We'll get right past that even before lunchtime tomorrow, as temperatures first get back to the upper 70s and then working their way back into the low 80s for daytime highs out there. So we just continue to see improvement to our temperature almost each and every day. The one thing that we just haven't seen is the rain. And that's certainly been good. People have been able to get outside, mow the lawn, and get out to Keeneland. There's so many things to do in Kentucky when the weather's nice. But when the weather gets kind of crummy, no one's happy. As we get into the middle of the work week, it looks like we'll really have to be dealing with that kind of crummy weather. First, the rain returns on Wednesday, then things get a little messy on Thursday. A chance for some thunderstorms and gusty winds as temperatures plummet back into where we should be normally for this time of year in the upper 60s. So that cold front will be just to our north Tuesday evening. But as we get into Wednesday, that's where that front dives down into the bluegrass and brings that cooler air along with it. So wave goodbye to the warmer than normal temperatures. They are long gone once we get into the second half of the work week. So again, Monday, Tuesday, and even most of Wednesday, feeling really, really nice. It isn't until we get into that Thursday, Friday period, Sean, where daytime highs, look at that, fall below normal. And by next Saturday, a high temperature at 60 degrees. We're warmer than that right now, Sean, and it's 11:18 in the evening.
Be a fun ride through the week.
That 7-day forecast sums up the state of Kentucky's weather perfectly.
Yeah, it sure does. Thanks a lot, Mike. After the break, GOP offices across the nation are being warned after a firebomb is thrown into a North Carolina office. Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million. Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot, $136 million. Defiant GOP officials are vowing not to be intimidated after a party office in rural North Carolina was firebombed Saturday night. The office was destroyed, but nobody was hurt. Investigators from the ATF are now trying to track down whoever is responsible.
There is very little left intact inside the Republican Party office in Hillsborough, North Carolina. Police say someone threw a homemade firebomb through the window Saturday night. Right next door, someone painted on a building, "Nazi Republicans leave town or else."
This is a horrific act of political terrorism.
With just weeks until the general election, local GOP officials believe this was a clear attempt to intimidate voters, but they say it will not work.
Let me be clear. The Orange County Republican Party and all of the North Carolina Republican Party will be open for business and doing the business of a political party tomorrow morning. We will not be scared. We will not be frightened.
Donald Trump responded Sunday with this tweet. He wrote, "Animals representing Hillary Clinton and Dems in North Carolina just firebombed our office in Orange County because we are winning." Later, he tweeted again that everyone was safe. Hillary Clinton posted a message saying the attack was horrific and unacceptable. As a precaution, a security alert has been sent to GOP party offices around the state. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
A bus was brought in to serve as a makeshift office while repairs are being made to that burned out office. Iraq's prime minister says military operations to liberate the northern city of Mosul from Islamic State militants has begun. State TV in Iraq showed a brief written statement announcing the start of this widely anticipated military offensive to drive ISIS out of Iraq's second largest city. Now, the push to retake Mosul will be the biggest and most complex military operation in Iraq since American troops left back in 2011. A total solar eclipse has not been visible in the U.S. since 1979, but a Kentucky town could be the best place in the world to catch a glimpse next year. Hopkinsville is being called the best place to view the next total eclipse. Former NASA astrophysicist Fred Espinock brought up the spot during a presentation at U of L. He says the people there in Hopkinsville will see the eclipse for the longest, as long as clouds don't block the view.
That only lasts for about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 40 seconds from Hopkinsville. But during that period of time, the sky grows dark. You can see brighter stars and planets in the sky.
Espinac says you need glasses or one of those little pinhole projectors to view the moments before and after that total solar eclipse. But when it's completely lined up, you can see it with the naked eye. It's going to be something to see. Lee K is in next with sports, and several former UK basketball players were back in town this weekend.
Yeah, they were, Sean. The NBA brought 4 former Cats back to Lexington. Hear how John Wall did his best to pretend like he was back in college. And Carl Towns opts to attend a Louisville football game rather than Big Blue Madness. He'll explain why next in sports. It wasn't homecoming weekend on the UK campus, but it was for a quartet of former Kentucky basketball players back in Lexington for an NBA exhibition game. DeMarcus Cousins, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Skal Labissiere playing for the Kings, who picked up the win Saturday night in Rupp over John Wall and the Wizards. Wall said being back in Lexington made him feel like he was back in college again.
Yeah, I go to the same places. Like yesterday, at the Madness, I walked the whole street back up there to where the old Wildcat Lodge used to be and just went to a couple of food spots that I used to eat at and just take pictures with the fans. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's just like wanting to feel like I was back in college, so I had my UK sweatsuit on.
You know, Kansas is where I was raised and where I was born, but like Kentucky feels like home. So when I come back here, like it's sad that I have to leave right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been here that long. Like, you know, one day is not long enough to be here. So that's the kind of thing that I took from this place. It's just like it's family.
Karl Anthony Towns was in Louisville this weekend for an NBA preseason game at the Yum Center. Towns had 16 points and 14 rebounds in the Timberwolves win over the Miami Heat. Now, many thought Towns would be in Lexington Friday night for Big Blue Madness, but instead he attended a Louisville football game with teammate Gorgie Jang. He said the decision was based on team.
We had to support G. G got a good ovation at a Louisville game, and as much as I love BBN, and I wanted to go to BBM, and me and Cal talked a lot about it. Team comes first. When you're a leader, you have to make sacrifices, and I was willing to make that for my team.
A week after being embarrassed in Dallas, the Bengals had a tough task of traveling to Foxborough to face the Patriots and a quarterback named Brady. Tom Brady making his first home start of the season for the Patriots. Second quarter, Bengals knocking on the door. Andy Dalton uses the fake and gets in there on the 2-yard rush. 7-3 Cincinnati. Late second quarter, same score. James White on the receiving end of a 15-yard touchdown pass from Brady. 10-7 Patriots. Marvin Lewis not pleased. Still in the second, though, the Bengals quickly answer. Dalton hits Brandon LaFell, the former Patriot, in the back of the end zone for the 5-yard score. 14-10 Bengals. Third quarter now 14-10 after a safety. Brady finds his favorite target. That's the big fella. Rob Gronkowski, 4-yard touchdown catch. Patriots get the win 35-17. Cincinnati drops to 2-4 for the first time since 2010.
We have a lot of the season left, and so got to get back on track this week. And so it's a big thing. We got to take this thing, try to get to 3-4, and then we'll move from there.
Randall Cobb caught his first touchdown of the year. This 6-yard reception from Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter of today's Packers-Cowboys game. Cobb finished with 7 receptions, 53 yards, and that touchdown. But how about them Cowboys? Yeah, I'm a fan. 30-16 winners over Green Bay. Purdue has fired head football coach Darrell Hazel midway through his 4th season. The Boilermakers naming receivers coach Jared Parker as the interim head coach. Parker played 4 years at UK from 2001 to 2004, and he later served as a grad assistant on Rich Brooks' staff.
My reaction's been to how I've raised and what's got me to this point, and that's to be accepted as another challenge, accepted with a chip on my shoulder, and a personal obligation to all the coaches, their wives and families, and to the players to do everything in my power to help them finish out 6 weeks. And again, not to repeat myself, but have something they'll be proud of when they leave here. So that's a challenge. And that's all. That's the only way you can approach it.
And good for him. Dodgers looking to even up the NLCS tonight, taking on the Cubs. Top second, Adrian Gonzalez takes the Kyle Hendricks offering deep and gone. The solo shot gives L.A. the 1-0 lead. Clayton Kershaw gives up just 2 hits in 7 innings while striking out 6. And the Dodgers win Game 2, 1-0 to even up the series. And that's a look at sports. We are back with more after this.
So just another couple of days of September here in October.
We haven't had any complaints so far, and we're just going to have more warmth, more sunshine, at least for the next few days. But we all come back down to reality there. Wednesday into Thursday, temperatures drop off as a powerful cold front gets to the Commonwealth, and that's going to not only take those temperatures down, but bring the rain, the strong winds, and that'll put us right back in our place by next weekend.
I remember this time last year I was wearing like a jacket, and I mean, it was chilly. This week it's going to be shorts and T-shirts, I think.
Yeah, at least for the next few days before we definitely cool back down.
It'll feel a little bit more like fall meet once next weekend comes a Keeneland. Get ready for that. Well, thank you all for joining us. Remember, our next newscast is tomorrow at 4:30, and the news is always on at WKYT.com. Have a good night, everybody.